I'm going ahead, I'm creating one folder called as resource, new folder like resources. Meanwhile, I have some animations added already here, so I'm going ahead and creating this splash animations and putting it here. Okay, now we have a flash animation files. If you want, you can go ahead and download it from here. I want to create some components folders where I have the reusable component in place. So it will be having some reusable components in our systems. I'm creating one component called as Lottie view. So this Lottie views takes two parameters. One is like name of the Lottie file. Right now it's a splash supposed to becomes here, and loop mode I can able to remove this. Okay, I'll let I have a loop mode that I say play once by default, and I'm just making this configuration by referring some internets. What I did on top of that is I'm adding the completion handlers, and once play is done is finished, I'm just calling this callback so that I could come to know that when this lot is got finished. So this one is to render the Lottie files if provided. So the idea is I want to create some splash screens. Once the splash is done, I just want to move into the dashboard. So that's an idea. So to do this one, first of all, I need to create some routes, right? I'll create router, pi router, I say router, and I'll say that I'll take a enums. First of all, that will say the main screen, main router. Main router is nothing but the main pages. Like let's say if I am on a splash screen, then I'm moving into some other screen like a next screen. Then we'll count as a dashboard. If I go to the login screen, then I'll say the login. So different use cases will be there. By default, I'll be landing to the splash screen, and then I may land into the next one is I may go to the dashboard, and the next one is I may go to the sign in activity, sign in, and I may go into the registration as well, or I could say the sign up. So these are the common screen I may land up with additionally, and I just want to create a one class called as router. So it should be a pi router. So first one is navigation path. We'll talk about the navigation path in upcoming videos. It will help us to monitor where exactly our application is, or which view or we are exactly is in. I'll say pi router and pi main router here. Oh, everything's fine, but why it shows this one? That's okay. Let's talk about this init, public init. So it's a public constructor that gonna take about this one. Control B should have built this again and shows if there is any problem. No, non-classes type cannot class. Oh, okay. Actually, it should be a class. It's not supposed to be a struts here. Struts can be used for the normal project classes where you wanted to have something like handling the publisher kind of things. Then you just have to go this one. Okay, I just want to make it as a public as well so that it can be exposed outside. So I should be good at the moment. Then we need to create some splash screen. I could say the welcome screen. So I'll say go ahead and create this as a UI, common UI, so that okay, UI folder. Then I'll go ahead and create one new file that I call as a welcome or splash screen. Right? Just change that it automatically creates some view for me. Okay, it's supposed to ask me to name it, but a splash view, I'll say it as splash view. I'll say it as a splash view as well. Okay, this view has to be exposed outside, so I just wanted to make it as a public now. And if you want to expose any views outside, you'll have to make it as a public, and you'll have to have some init functions. I'll say public init, I'll say empty one. So these things will be new for you if you don't using the multi-model projects. You just have to do all this compromise. And I'll have to take a pi model object here. Pi model so that I can able to consume the router. To consume the routers, you have to say environment routers at environment object. I'll say var and pi route. That's the one, and it should be a pi router as well. That's what we mean with here, right? Yes, exactly. So first one is I wanted to have the Lottie animation. So once the Lottie animation is done, then I just wanted to move to some other pages. Let me tell you what exactly I'm doing. I'm just invoking the Lottie view components from here, and then once the Lottie view is completed, I say this pi main router as a dashboard, and then I'll remove all this as it may not be needed. Yep, now it's gonna return the view like it's a Lottie view, and it takes the name as a splash screen. And then the complete once the splash screen is completed, then I'll say let's go to the pi router. It's as simple as that. So it should be good at the moment. The router is in the scope. What is that? Not find the router. Okay, it has to be called as a pi router. Or even we call it as a router as well. That's not an issue. So that we can satisfy this one. Okay, so now my Pi UI is ready with a splash view. Now I just wanted to go here like a main application. I'm just going ahead and creating some new group called as UI, and I'll say that it's a main screen. So I just want to create a main screen so that I can host a number of pages based on the different conditions. Let's say I create something like a main view that gonna decide. So okay, which view I supposed to render at this point in time. Main screen view and video. Meanwhile, I'll create another one called as dashboard as well. Before that, I just wanted to create one different folder so that I can get hold of dashboard and dashboard models, all this together, right? Dashboard, and I'll say add new file, dashboard view. My dashboard will go here. I'll say the dashboard view is in progress because we had to complete the dashboard view, right? So dashboard is in progress. We just show this message. I'll add something like font size as title. We have a number of font size by default, right? Large headlines or something. So I'll say title, and my dashboard is ready now. And what else we want to have a main screen, right? Main screen is supposed to render the different things based on the different conditions. So let me come to that one. So first of all, I just want to import this Pi UI. Okay, got it. So then I need to access an environment variable, right? So we declared that environment object gonna tell us like where we supposed to go at particular point in times. So router, like I'll say Pi router, and if my router is, so let me quickly tell you, it's a magic code. So I'll say case, I'll say router dot router dot come on. So Pi router is not available because I just wanted to import the Pi model as well. Right now I could able to see this Pi router dot main screen. Which screen I need to load? Let's say if it says like splash, I have to load the splash screen, right? Splash screen is available in the Pi model. So splash me, there you go. And I'll have to create environment variables just to pass this environment variable to the splash. And otherwise I just wanted to create something like cases dashboard, then it has to go for the dashboard view. Okay, simple. So for this, by default we'll say it's a splash screen itself, right? Say environment object instead of environment, because we wanted to pass this environment, right? Right, perfect. So now we go back to the finance app. So by default it's going into the content view, so instead we just wanted to move it to main screen, so that gonna tell us where we exactly go. And before that we just wanted to have the state object. We'll have to create the state object, right? Do you remember, like, we were added the router, right? Router is yet to be initialized, so I'll say router. So for that we need to import that pi model as well, pi model, and I'll say router, pi router is equal to pi router. This is where I'm initializing that object. Then I'm saying it, just go into the environment object, a router. Did it right? Just double check with this one. Yeah, simple. So the understanding is it's supposed to go here. By default it has to show some splash screens. Once the splash animation is done, this gonna change this main screen to the dashboard. So let's run the application and see what's going on. So you could see that it's going ahead, it's showing the animation and land into the dashboard and progress screens. So that's it for now. So now we could have understand how to create the different models, how to set the dependency with this each model, and when you just finish your animation, how to navigate to the different screens. So as this moment we have to talk about the navigation stack and all, we'll talk about this later, because in my scenario navigation stack is not required. If I put a navigation stack, then what will happen is it will show the back button, then it will put the things in the back stack that I don't want it, because once the splash is done, that's it. I don't want to see the splash screens anymore. I don't want to have it in the stack as well. So that's the reason we didn't talk about the stack. So next session we'll talk about more about the stack and the view models and etc, etc. So until then, thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Put in the comment sections as well. Jai Bhim. Bye bye.